Have you ever walked into a restaurant abroad, looked at the menu, and suddenly felt like you forgot every word of English you ever learned? You're not alone. And here's the thing that surprised me after teaching English for over 15 years. Most of my students can discuss complex topics in English, but they freeze when they need to order a simple sandwich. Why? Because textbooks teach you grammar, but they don't teach you the real rhythm of the restaurant conversation. And that's exactly what we're going to fix today. My name is Marcie. I'm an English teacher, and I've helped thousands of learners go from anxious to confident in real-life situations. And by the end of this episode, you're going to walk into any restaurant and order food in English without that nervous feeling in your stomach. I promise you that. So let's start at the very beginning, the moment you walk through that restaurant door. The host or hostess will usually greet you with something like, "Hi, how many?" or "Good evening, table for how many?" And this is where you need just one simple phrase: "Table for two, please," or "Table for one, please." Notice I said please. That's important. It's polite and natural in English. Now, sometimes you might want a specific spot, maybe by the window or outside. So you can add, "Do you have a table by the window?" Or "Could we sit outside?" The key word here is could, not can, because could is a bit more polite. The host might say, "Right this way," or "Follow me, please," and then you just walk with them to your table. Simple, right? But here's where it gets interesting. Once you sit down, the server will come over, usually within a minute or two, and they'll say something like, "Hi, I'm Sarah. I'll be taking care of you today. Can I start you off with something to drink?" Now, you don't have to order a drink right away if you're not ready. You can say, "Could we have a minute to look at the menu?" And that's perfectly fine. But let's say you know what you want to drink. You could say, "I'll have water, please," or "Could I get a coffee?" Here's a little detail that confuses people. In many English-speaking countries, especially the US, the server will ask, "Still or sparkling?" when you order water. Still means regular water. Sparkling means water with bubbles, like soda water. If you just want regular tap water from the sink, which is free in most restaurants in the US and UK, you can say, "Just tap water, please." Okay, so now you have your drinks, and it's time to look at the menu. And this is where a lot of learners feel stuck, because maybe there's a word you don't understand, or you're not sure what's in a dish. Here's the secret. Asking questions is completely normal and expected. In fact, servers prefer when you ask because they want you to enjoy your meal. So let's practice some really useful phrases for this part. If you see a dish and you're curious, you can ask, "What do you recommend?" This is perfect because the server knows the menu well and can suggest something popular or delicious. Another great question is, "What's in this dish?" Maybe you see something called shepherd's pie and you have no idea what that is. Just ask. The server will explain it. You can also ask, "Does this come with a salad?" Or, "Does this come with rice or potatoes?" Because many dishes come with side dishes, and it's good to know what you're getting. Now, here's something really important. If you have an allergy or you don't eat certain foods, you absolutely need to tell the server. You can say, "I'm allergic to peanuts," or "I'm vegetarian. What do you recommend?" or "I don't eat pork." They'll help you find something safe and delicious. And if you don't understand a word on the menu, don't be shy. Just say, "Sorry, what does ribeye mean?" Or, what's coleslaw? They'll explain it to you, no problem. Okay, now let's talk about actually ordering your food. This is the main event. When the server comes back and says, "Are you ready to order?" or "What can I get for you?" you'll use one of these phrases. "I'll have the grilled chicken," or "I'd like the pasta, please," or "Could I get the burger?" Now you might be wondering, what's the difference between "I want," "I'll have," and "I'd like"? Technically, they all mean the same thing. But here's the thing: "I want" sounds a bit direct, almost childish in a restaurant setting. Native speakers usually say, "I'll have," or "I'd like," because it sounds more polite and natural. So instead of saying, "I want a burger," say, "I'll have a burger," or "I'd like a burger, please." That small change makes you sound much more fluent. Now, sometimes you want to make changes to a dish. Maybe you don't like onions, or you want extra cheese, and that's totally okay in most restaurants. You can say, "Can I get this without onions?" Or, "Could I have extra cheese on that?" Or, "Can I get the dressing on the side?" That last one, "on the side," means you want the sauce or dressing in a separate small bowl so you can add it yourself. Very common phrase. The server might ask you, "How would you like your steak cooked?" And you need to know these words. Rare means very pink inside. Medium rare means a little pink. Medium means slightly pink. And well done means fully cooked with no pink. If you don't know, you can just say, "Medium, please." That's the most popular choice. Another question you might hear is, "What kind of dressing would you like on your salad?" Common options are ranch, Italian, Caesar, or vinaigrette. But if you're not sure, you can ask, "What dressings do you have?" And they'll list them. Now here's a little tip. If you're ordering with other people, wait until everyone at your table is ready to order. Don't order alone if your friends are still looking at the menu. That's considered a bit rude. When everyone's ready, usually one person orders first, then the next person, going around the table. The server will take your menus when you're done ordering, and then they'll bring your food in about 15 to 30 minutes, depending on the restaurant. While you're waiting, this is a great time to practice your English conversation with your friends, or just relax and enjoy the atmosphere. When your food arrives, the server will usually say, "Here you go," or "Enjoy your meal." And you can say, "Thank you," or "This looks great, thank you." If there's a problem with your food, maybe it's cold or it's not what you ordered, it's okay to tell the server politely. You can say, "Excuse me, I ordered the chicken, but this is fish." Or, "I'm sorry, but this is a bit cold. Could you warm it up?" They'll fix it. No problem. That's their job. Now let's fast forward to the end of the meal. You've finished eating. Maybe you want to leave and you need to ask for the bill. In the US, we say bill or check. They mean the same thing. In the UK, they usually just say bill. Here's how to ask for it. "Could we have the bill, please?" Or, "Can we get the check?" The server will bring it to your table, usually in a little folder or tray. Now, here's something that confuses people. In some countries, the server brings the bill right away, but in the US and UK, they wait until you ask for it because they don't want to rush you. So don't wait for them to bring it automatically. You need to ask. When you get the bill, look at it to make sure everything is correct. Sometimes there's a mistake. Maybe they charged you for something you didn't order. And if that happens, just politely tell the server, "I think there's a mistake. We didn't order this." And they'll fix it. Now, let's talk about paying. You can say, "Can I pay by card?" Or, "Do you take credit cards?" Most restaurants accept cards, but some small places might be cash only. If you're eating with friends and you want to pay separately, not split the bill equally, but each pay for your own food, you can say, "Can we pay separately?" Or, "Can we have separate checks?" Some restaurants can do this easily. Others might say it's too complicated, especially if you're a large group. So it's good to ask at the beginning of the meal if you know you want separate bills. And here's something important about the US: tipping. In the United States, you're expected to leave a tip for the server, usually 15 to 20% of the bill, because servers don't earn much in hourly wages and they rely on tips. In the UK, tipping is less expected but still appreciated, maybe 10%. In other countries, tipping might not be customary at all, so it depends where you are. When you leave, you can say to the server, "Thank you, everything was delicious," or "The food was great, thank you." And if the service was really good, you can say, "Thank you so much, you were wonderful." Now let me put this all together so you can see the full flow of a restaurant conversation from start to finish. Imagine you walk into a restaurant. The host says, "Hi, how many?" And you say, "Table for two, please." They take you to your table, you sit down, and the server comes over and says, "Hi, I'm Tom. Can I get you something to drink?" You say, "I'd like water, please. Just tap water." He brings your water and says, "Are you ready to order or do you need a few minutes?" You say, "Could we have a few more minutes?" He says, "Of course, take your time." You look at the menu, you see something interesting, but you're not sure what it is. So when Tom comes back, you ask, "What's in the chicken marsala?" He explains it's chicken cooked in a wine sauce with mushrooms. You say, "That sounds great, I'll have that." Your friend orders the salmon. Tom asks, "Would you like that with rice or vegetables?" You say, "Vegetables, please." The food comes, it's delicious. You eat, you chat, you enjoy your meal. When you're done, you say, "Could we have the check, please?" Tom brings it. You look at it. Everything's correct. You pay by card. You leave a tip. And as you walk out, you say, "Thank you. The food was wonderful." And that's it. That's a complete restaurant experience in English. Now, I know this might feel like a lot of information, but here's the thing. You don't need to memorize every single phrase I mentioned today. The most important ones are, "Table for two, please," "I'll have the," and "Could we have the bill, please?" Those three phrases will get you through most restaurant situations. Everything else, the questions about the menu, the modifications to your order, those are bonus phrases that you can use when you need them. And remember, restaurant workers in English-speaking countries are used to talking to people from all over the world. They're patient, they're helpful, and they want you to have a good experience. So even if you make a small mistake with your English, even if you use the wrong word or forget a phrase, it's okay. They'll understand you. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is communication and confidence. So next time you're in a restaurant, I want you to take a deep breath, smile, and use these phrases we practiced today. You're going to do great. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode where we're going to practice another real-life situation that will boost your confidence even more. Until then, keep practicing, and remember, you're doing better than you think.